Hello, hello. Hello to everyone. Good evening. My name is Constantina. I'm an IVF coordinator. I represent emBIO Clinic in Athens, Greece. And I'm here tonight to present some useful information about egg donation in Greece and specifically at our clinic. So welcome to this platform, My IVF Answers, and the European Fertility Society, which has been created to support and raise awareness, educate patients who struggle with infertility. And as I told you before, I will try to explain as much as possible for egg donation IVF treatment. And then I will be here to answer all your questions. So let's start. Hello to everyone. I would like to inform you that this event is anonymous. Okay. You see me. I cannot see you, unfortunately. And it is going to be recorded and published on the YouTube channel. Okay. So egg donation treatment. So first of all, what is egg donation treatment? We're talking about IVF treatment with donor eggs, which is a specialized fertility treatment for couples who face different challenges and they cannot achieve pregnancy with their own genetic material. Due to different factors, for example, due to poor egg quality or diminished ovarian reserve or other genetic problems. The idea of this procedure is that we take donated eggs from young and fertile person, and we fertilize them with the sperm of the partner or with a sperm donor sometimes in order to achieve pregnancy. So who would be eligible for this kind of treatment? First of all, women with advanced maternal age. So we consider women over 40 or even more 45 years old, people of advanced maternal age. That means that they have poor egg quality and quantity. Mostly is the quality that concern us. So this reduces the chances of achieving a natural pregnancy or a pregnancy via IVF with their own eggs. Also, for people who have diminished ovarian reserve, even if they're not over 40 or 45 years old. There are people who have also premature diminished ovarian reserve. So that means that this can make natural conception quite difficult. Other people that might have repeated IVF failures and might not be eligible for another stimulation cycle. Couples with genetic conditions, genetic problems, who they do not want to run the risk to pass these conditions to their child. People with poor egg quality, people who have low quality eggs, and this can lead to either failed fertilization or early pregnancy loss. And finally, people who suffer from unexplained infertility, where traditional fertility treatments have been unsuccessful, and this could provide, of course, a viable solution, as it has higher chances of success. Sorry, I would have to interrupt you. I will be available for questions once we finish up with this presentation, okay? Thank you very much for your patience. So once you come to emBIO clinic, or before coming to emBIO clinic, you have an assigned coordinator, as myself. So that means that you will have a person who will support you throughout the entire treatment and who will ensure that you get the information you need in order to proceed. First of all, you do an initial consultation where the clinical director of the clinic, Dr. Thanos Brashos, will conduct a comprehensive evaluation of your situation, and he will create an individualized treatment plan for you. The first step of the procedure, both the donor and the recipient undergo medical and psychological screening tests. This can be, of course, the recipient can be conducted at your home country or during your visit at emBIO clinic in Athens. Also, egg donors are selected upon specific criteria, with all donors undergoing rigorous medical testing. Step 2. At emBIO clinic, we want and we tend to synchronize cycles. That means that we use fresh eggs, and we try to synchronize recipients and donor cycles through hormonal therapy. So in the meantime, simultaneously, we would say the donor and the receiver get their treatment in order to for the egg donor to stimulate the egg production, and for the receiver to be able to receive embryos. So that means that they have to prepare the uterus and their endometrium in order to receive the embryos. Step 3, egg retrieval. So when the donor's eggs are mature, they are retrieved throughout a minor surgical procedure under light sedation. The same day, the partner or the second part, the partner has to be there in order to provide sperm. The embryos develop in vitro for 2 to 5 days. And at the end of the culture, the best quality embryos are selected in order to be transferred to the uterus of the patient. So finally, the final step is the embryo transfer, where the recipient gets the embryos after normally 2 to 3 weeks of preparation. Preparation means that they get hormone treatment in order to ensure that the uterine lining is optimal for implantation. The embryo transfer is painless. It's like a smear test, more or less, and it can take up to 20-30 minutes. And always conducted by the clinical director of the clinic, Dr. Thanos Barajos. If the couple has more than 2 embryos that we normally transfer, they can choose to freeze them in order to use them in the future if necessary. After transfer, the patient gets supportive medication who help implantation, and after 10 to 12 days, you have a pregnancy blood test in order to confirm the result. Usually the treatment lasts some weeks, I would say about 3 weeks, 20 days. That depends, of course, on the cycles. Also depends on how the recipient's lining is, let's say, responding to medication, and donor availability and other individual medical needs. As I told you before, you will discuss with your assigned coordinator and, of course, with Dr. Thanos Parazos all information and details of the plan. So, as I told you before, some steps as some medical screenings and initial consultations can be done at distance from your home country. Normally, most people travel to Athens for like 5 to 7 days in order to do final steps, which are sperm donation, sperm collection, IVF, and embryo transfer. You will be guided through the process by your coordinator, and who will make sure that the treatment plan is like tailored to your specific needs and also to your travel preferences. So about costs, the egg donation program costs approximately 6,000 euros, and this includes the egg donor and phenotype matching, the analysis and freezing, if necessary, of the partner's sperm, all the scanning, the biometrical scanning, and all medical tests for the egg donor, of course, the egg retrieval, and all expenses regarding the egg retrieval, all IVF procedures, of course, ICSI fertilization and only ICSI fertilization, and finally the embryo transfer of 2 embryos. Medication of the recipient is not included in the price. In Greece, this medication can cost about 300 to 500 euros. If you have issues with finding medication at your country, there are quite a few pharmacies in Athens that can send you medication to at home within 2 or 3 working days. Also, embryo freezing is not included in this price. So this pricing guarantees the acquisition of 6 to 8 high-quality eggs, which provides a solid foundation for the IVF process. And let me present some success rates, which are quite high for an IVF. So on your first attempt, statistically, you have like 70% of chances. On a second attempt, you have 73% of chances, and we reach up to 78% to a third attempt. So that means basically that most people fall pregnant on the first try. So these success rates really reflect both the treatment's effectiveness and also our team's expertise. And they ensure a high probability of success. So thank you very much for attending. And now we proceed to your questions. I see you have quite a few questions here. So, many people ask for different egg donor profiles. I see here, does your clinic have Japanese donor eggs? Does your clinic have Danish donor eggs? Do you have egg donor from African race? Okay. So, as you understand, we are in Greece, we're in Europe, so most donors are Caucasian. Of course, there are also other profiles, African profiles, Asian profiles, Northern European profiles. Sometimes for this specific profiles, like African profiles or Asian profiles, it might be necessary for the recipient to wait some time. That means that normally, once a couple decides to begin the treatment, they can begin. They can begin as soon as possible. If they have like special needs for a profile which is more rare, we would say, that case you might need to stay on a waiting list for 1 month or 2 months. But generally speaking, we have quite a few profiles. Recently, according to the Greek legislation, you can also choose to buy your own eggs, okay, from an egg bank. So that means that you can choose to you can select ID released egg donor from a egg bank like Cryos Egg Bank, buy your eggs, and then send it to the clinic and proceed with the IVF. So if you want to have like a particular profile which can be more rare for us, then you can proceed that way. Other question. Do you offer surrogacy? I'm so sorry, but no. The surrogacy legislation in Greece, in Europe, generally speaking, is quite severe, quite rigorous. So most people need to pass through court. So they need a court decision in order to proceed to surrogacy. We do not offer surrogacy programs, but we can apply IVF with egg donation or not to surrogate mothers. That means that you can come to our clinic in order to do the second part of the treatment, but we do not have surrogate mothers, and we cannot guide you through the surrogacy treatment plan, which can be quite complicated. Success rates, I think we've already talked about that. 70% on the first try. That means that 7 out of 10 people get pregnant from the first try. Anyway, you work with database where you can see pictures of egg donors. Yes, that's what I was talking about like a few minutes before. So recently, Greek legislation approved use of ID released egg donors from egg banks. And I am more than proud to tell you that emBIO Clinic was, I think, the first clinic in Greece that received eggs from Cryos egg bank in order to fertilize them and proceed to an IVF with frozen eggs from the bank. So for those profiles, as far as I know, you can see pictures, okay? But if you want to talk about egg donors provided by a clinic, we're talking about people who are anonymous, so you don't get to see pictures, unfortunately. That's the Greek law. You don't get to see pictures. You have a description of the profile, okay? We will have chosen for you with information about their phenotype, the age, blood group, also educational level, but other than that, the profile remains strictly anonymous. Next question, Rebecca, with your donor egg treatment, do you offer any blastocyst guarantees? Is emBIO clinic experiencing recurrent implantation failure and repeated miscarriage? As far as the blastocysts are concerned, yes, we guarantee at least two embryos on blastocyst stage, of course, with a normal spermogram, okay? And we have lots of experience with recurrent implantation failure. So the golden standard for us after first failure, I would say, would be a hysteroscopy, which is conducted by Dr. Parashos himself. Also, upon according to each profile, he might propose other testing who can reveal maybe any problems with implantation failure. The first, as I told you, is the golden standard is the hysteroscopy. Other question, if the first attempt fails, do I pay again for the second trial? Depends. If you have frozen embryos, as I told you before, you pay the next time you have an embryo transfer only for the embryo transfer, which is 1,500 euros. If you don't have embryos left from the first try, yes, you have to pay a new cycle. Of course, we apply a certain reduction to this price for a second or a third attempt. So you have specialized discount for that. Majority, which country donor do you have? Do I have to wait long? So for we have donors from Greece, of course, from all over Europe. Okay, so we consider them Caucasian profiles, and for this kind of profile, you don't have to wait long. Basically, you start immediately. As I told you before, for other profiles like African or Asian profiles, you might need to wait a bit longer. How is the payment made? The payment mode, please. So when you start your treatment, you pay the first part of the treatment, which is about 3,500 euros. The rest of the treatment, which is 2,000 euros, which is 2,500 euros, you pay on the day of the embryo transfer. on the same day, you have to pay also freezing fees if you have embryos left and you want to freeze them. And you can pay with bank transfer, you can pay with a credit card, also in cash if you want. Some say that embryos from frozen bags are less efficient to fertilize and lead to haploid than fresh donor eggs. Do you expect similar success with frozen eggs from a bag, such as the ones where I see the picture? Do you also guarantee to haploid if I get eggs from a bag? So let's talk first of all about difference between fresh and frozen eggs. As I told you in the beginning of this presentation, we at emBIO Clinic we use always fresh genetic material. So that's why we do the synchronization of the cycles. So we believe that fresh genetic material, of course, is better than frozen genetic material. Okay, so we want to have both eggs and sperm, if possible, fresh. As far as haploid embryos are concerned, according to the Greek legislation, when we do IVF with egg donation, we don't have the right to run PGT testing. Even if we want to, we don't have this right. So that means that we transfer embryos upon quality, upon morphology. There are certain criteria for embryologists to choose the right embryos for you. Okay, but we do not run. We don't have the right, I repeat, to run genetic testing to these embryos. As far as the frozen eggs are concerned, this would be a question to address to the egg bank. So as far as Christ Bank is concerned, okay, they guarantee at least one blastocyst on 6 frozen eggs. Again, since we have not the right to run any genetic testing, we cannot speak out haploid embryos. So egg banks usually guarantee at least one blastocyst every 6 frozen eggs. So if we have to compare, of course, we understand that fresh eggs would be better than frozen ones. The reason people use frozen eggs is mostly the possibility to see profiles and to have more information on egg donors profiles, and also to have ID release donor, which is not possible in Greece with donors coming from our program. Do you do it to be able to have twins? So, yes, I told you before, we transfer always 2 embryos. That means that it's quite possible, like you have a 25 to 30% chances of having twins. We do not transfer 2 embryos. Our goal is not for you to have twins, because sometimes multiple pregnancies could be harder, of course. The reason we transfer 2 embryos is that we have at least one that stays. However, sometimes both stay. Do we have not so light Greek donors, or all Greek donors are the same color? No. Greek donors are not all of the same color. And that's the good thing about Greece, I would say. So I would say that you have like a basic standard Mediterranean profile, but also we have darker profiles, and also we have lighter profiles. Okay, so we have also people with blonde hair, light eyes, blue or green eyes. We have dark people, and we have people like me, which I would say is the standard. Let's say not so dark, not so light, something in the middle. Okay. So that being said, I would like to say that the matching we do is basically based on phenotype criteria. Okay. So we use information provided by patients, and also we use photos of the patients in order to do the matching and to choose the ideal donor for you. I had a question before about age. Yeah. Do you attend to 48 years old woman? Age limit for IVF in Greece, as you might know, is 54 years old. So I think it's the higher in Europe. After 50 years old, people have to, before doing the IVF treatment, they have to take permission, let's say, from Greek authorities. So in Greece, you do any kind of IVF up to the age of 50 years old, and then up to the age of 54, you can also do IVF procedure, but after 50 years old, you have to ask for permission. And for this permission, you have to send three, let's say, certificates, 3 letters from 3 doctors, gynecologists, cardiologists, and mammologists, who certify that the woman is able to bear pregnancy, and also she is capable of undergoing hormonal treatment. So you prepare these 3 documents, you send it over, translated in Greek. You send also your passport and some other documents necessary, and we do the procedure for you. We send these documents to Greek authorities, and normally after 3 to 4 weeks, you have the answer, you have the right, the permission to proceed to the IVF. So yeah, we treat people 48 years old, as I told you, up to the age of 54. Other questions maybe for me? Do you do PGTA with donor X? I think I answered this question. No, we don't do PGTA testing because we do not have the right from the Greek law to run biopsies and genetic testing to embryos that come from donation. So no, we do not do PGTA testing. Like, it's a huge discussion if we should or we should not do PGTA testing to embryos, generally speaking. But as far as egg donation is concerned, No, we don't have the right to do so. However, success rates remain quite high even if we do not run PGT testing, which you have to know it's a quite invasive procedure. That's not always the answer, the solution. Okay. Since we're talking about IVF with egg donation, I would like to speak shortly for IVF with sperm donation also. So that means double donation. Okay. So for single women, for lots of single women asking for double donation, or for couples that the spermogram is not ideal. The procedure is quite simple. You can choose your sperm donor from any European sperm bank. This can be, again, an ID release or a non-ID release profile. So yeah, we accept every profile you can find, basically. So you choose your sperm donor for cryosperm from European sperm bank, from Cryogonia sperm bank, which is in Greece, or any other sperm bank in Europe. You buy it online. Of course, we stay in touch on that. We will give you guidelines on that. You buy it online, and then you ask the bank to send it to the clinic, and within 2 or 3 working days, we have your sperm to the clinic. We keep it frozen, and we use it when we need to do the IVF. If I want to come and run all important tests to know my situation, what to do, how much does this test cost, please? So that depends. I cannot give you exact prices. Generally speaking, medical care in Greece, it's not that expensive, okay? The doctor will decide which kind of testing you need, and upon his consulting, we will have to prepare the plan. So yeah, I cannot be precise to that because it depends on the test. If it's like simple serology testing, can be 50 euros. But if it's something more profound, of course, it might be more than that. What is the cost of endometrial receptivity test? We do not recommend this kind of testing to our patients. Sometimes a doctor might need some insight to your endometrial receptivity if we have failures that repeat. Would not run this test at the clinic, but we have clinics with who we have labs basically with who collaborate, so we can guide you through this procedure. Is egg donation anonymous in your country? Yes. As I told you before, 100% anonymous, so you don't get to know anything about them. They don't know anything about you. But as I told you before, we can accept ID release profiles from egg donors from egg banks. I'm really amazed with your success rates of 70% and above. Yeah, it's amazing, but it's true. It's true because it's combination, first of all, of favorable, let's say, factors. First of all, age of people doing egg donation. Donors, which are between 18 and 30 years old, so very young and very fertile. Also, this is due to Dr. Thanos Paraswas expertise, and to scientific staff, basically embryologists, who are very have great experience on their field, and mostly they care about people. Even without PGT, that is very mind-blowing. Yeah, as I told you before, PGT doesn't mean that the embryo is 100% good or not good, okay? Because we are talking about embryos which divide and we are talking about cellular division on the first stages of the embryo culture. So even if an embryo appears normal on a PGD, that doesn't mean that it will give a pregnancy, or on the other hand, even if an embryo appears abnormal on a PGT testing, doesn't mean that it won't give pregnancy, okay? So yeah, I would say that this procedure, this treatment can give to lots of people the opportunity to create a family and have a child, where nothing else could be applied on their cases. Other questions, maybe for me? Okay. I will type my email address here. Sorry for my difficult name. It's Constantina. Okay. So if you have any further question or something like comes to your mind later or tomorrow, I don't know, feel free to contact me on my email address. We can set up a personal consultation, which is, of course, available without cost. Okay. So we could set up a personal consultation via Zoom or WhatsApp or anything that can be convenient for you. And we can discuss on a personalized basis. Okay. So I think we don't have any further questions. No, so thank you very much for all you attending this webinar. Sorry, we have a last question. One thing to consider with IVF with donor eggs or sperm is citizenship laws of home country. What do you mean? I don't quite understand. Can you clarify, please? So basically, when you get pregnant, when you go back home and you're pregnant, the pregnancy, of course, and the child is normally recognized recognized with all citizenship rules of your country. So, I would like to thank you very much for attending this this meeting, this webinar. Okay. I hope information provided was quite useful for you. I understand that it can this treatment can be quite stressful and complicated sometimes, but we're here to facilitate this procedure. Sorry, we have clarification. USA, for example, requires some part be genetically linked to child, or they may have to go through imitation process as with an adoption. Sorry, I'm not like familiar with USA rules. So I cannot answer this question. I think you're talking about double donation now, but I'm not quite familiar with the USA rules on that. Okay. But it's the first time I think I hear something like that, that the one parent must be genetically linked to the child. Andrea says that I'm from USA. I never heard that. Also, USA is very different state to state, so every state is different. Yeah. Great. So thank you very much for being tonight with us. I hope everything was clear and useful to you. I repeat, we are available at emBIO Clinic for any personal consultation you might need. You have my email address, so feel free to contact me with your questions. And hopefully I will see you soon, maybe some of them in Athens. And I hope for every one of you that you get to fulfill all your dreams. Okay, thank you very much.